process of buying media is more complex today than it has ever been in the history of the business. Today it's critical that we understand as sellers the key roles that people play in the organizations that you're trying to sell to. There are essentially 4 key roles that you need to be aware of, and you need to identify the people that occupy those roles in customers that you're approaching and customers you're currently doing business with. Those 4 key roles are, first of all, the decision maker. The decision maker is the person that has final approval, and the decision maker can veto all other decisions made by everyone else. It's a safe bet that no decision maker has ever worked at an ad agency, which means the decision maker is almost always at the client. So the ad agency could recommend your solution, but when it gets to the decision maker, they could veto it and say we're moving in a different direction. It's an imperative today that you understand who the decision maker is and the role they play in you getting your products and solutions into that client. The second key role you must be aware of and be cognizant of is that of the technical buyer. The technical buyer's job is to look at the details of all the proposals that come in. Then they make judgments about those proposals, who should play, who should not play, who's too expensive, who's coming in with too much inventory and not enough inventory. The technical buyers look at all of those aspects of the proposals, and then they make recommendations. In our business, it feels like they make decisions, but they don't really. They make recommendations, someone else ultimately approves it, and then they place the buy. Third role you need to identify is that of the coach, and this is the most critical role you need to understand and you need to identify and you need to secure. A coach is someone internally in the organization that you're selling to that helps you understand the internal politics of the business. A coach is someone that helps you understand how decisions get made in the organization that you're selling to. They help you understand many, many things about who you're selling to. And last but not least is the role of a blocker. And the blocker is someone inside the organization that you're selling to who stands in your way of getting what you want accomplished. Let's look at each of these 4 roles in a little bit more detail. Characteristics of a decision maker. First of all, there is usually only one, unless you're selling to the United Way. And in the case of United Way, there are no decision makers. They do everything by committee. Secondly, the decision maker signs the checks. They're the ones that sign the checks. So you know the person signing the checks is ultimately the decision maker. Generally, decision makers do not like meeting with salespeople because they see it as a waste of time. If you get in front of a decision maker, understand they speak business language, not media language. You need to learn their language, and you need to let them know that you've learned their language. Decision makers prefer like-rank meetings. In other words, if they're the CEO of the company, they want to meet with the CEO of your company. If they're the head of sales, they want to meet with your head of sales. When possible, set up these like-rank meetings when you're in front of a decision maker. Decision makers are most often the driver work style. Go to the Get a Meeting section of the Knoll Sales Coach and review the different styles, or go to the styles training under the Sales Coach and understand what the driver work style is like, because most decision makers that you encounter are of this driver work style. And last but not least, decision makers often have large egos. You have to learn how to play that ego to sell to a decision maker. The second role that we've identified is that of the technical buyer. And we said that some of the characteristics of a technical buyer, first of all, in today's selling environment, almost everyone is a technical buyer. Almost everyone gets an opportunity to pass judgment on your proposal. So the buyer, the media planner passes judgment. The account executive passes judgment. In a local car dealer, the sales managers might pass judgment. The sellers, the people that are selling the cars, might pass judgment on your proposal. So assume that everyone in the organization that you're selling to is a technical buyer. Their job is to compare you to others, to your competitors, people who are in there trying to sell their company. They most often get paid to save the company money. So when you're selling to a technical buyer, understand up front, it's going to all be about price. They always think about how your proposal will affect their job. So if you're proposing to a media buyer that only buys one medium, that he or she buy your convergent media package with 4 different mediums in it, you've just complicated their job. So you need to make sure that you understand how your package affects their behavior and their opinion. They always have, technical buyers will always have one seller in their inner circle. That's important to know, because if you're not in the inner circle, you need to understand that your competition, someone in your competition, is in their inner circle. And last but not least, their job is to make judgments, not final decisions. The third role that you need to identify is that of a coach. And a coach can tell you, first of all, how decisions get made in the organization that you're selling to. Who has the ultimate decision-making authority? Coaches can give you fabulous general information about the company so you don't have to ask those questions when you get in front of important decision makers. They can tell you how their company feels about your company. Is there past history that you need to be aware of? They can tell you what's working and what is not working in their organization, whether it comes to advertising or how their floor people are selling their products. They can tell you who is currently calling on them from your competition, who their boss likes, who they don't like, what they like about them and what they don't. And they can tell you the best times to meet the boss and how the boss prefers to do business. Why would someone be willing to give you coaching? Well, first of all, because they like you. Secondly, because they have something that they want that you possess. It could be tickets. It could be a suite. But if you have something they want, often they'll give you coaching. They may see value in your products and services. They may see personal gain in their company adopting your solution. It could be that they're worried about their job. It could be that they see you as a future resource. Why would you want to seek out coaches? Why is coaching such a critical part of the sales process today? First of all, if you have good coaching, you will save lots of time. You will make fewer mistakes and go down the wrong path much, much less often if you're getting good coaching internally inside the company you're selling to. You will have information about this company your competitors do not have. You will build better solutions, so when you go in to present your solutions, they have more impact. You will close business faster, and you will make more money. Seeking out coaches may be the most important skill set you can develop today. Lastly, the fourth role that you need to identify, and this is a critical role as well, is that of a blocker. A blocker, first of all, is present in the organization you're selling to almost always if you are not getting your fair shake. In other words, if you're not getting your fair share, you're not getting your fair shake on the business, someone inside the organization that you're selling to is blocking you. You must figure out who that person is and why they're blocking you. And of course, the best way to figure that out is to ask your coach. Blockers often block you as a source of power. If you can find a way to remove that power, you can get past the blocker. Blockers can say no, but they can seldom say yes. When you encounter a blocker, you really only have two options. One is to keep selling them and hope they change their mind. Maybe good strategy, probably not. The other opportunity is to go around them. And we hear from often in the media business, people say, well, I can't go around them. It's too much risk. But consider your risk. Consider what happens if you go around them. The moment you're willing to go around a blocker, you remove their power. And when you remove their power, they have a fundamental decision to make. Do I risk my job, or do I figure out a way to work with this person that's going around me? And last but not least, if you decide to go around them, be careful. But understand the rewards are often swift and huge. We say go around the blocker. Understand these four roles. Identify who they are in the organizations that you're selling to, and we promise you this. The sales process will get smoother, it will get quicker, you will close more business, and you will make more money.